Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Between Two Worlds. I am your host, Annika, and on today's episode, we will be talking about weather magic. This one gets me pretty excited, especially right now, because, well, where I live, we are facing quite a few storms ahead and just got through one or two. And in addition to those storms, more specifically where I live, it is very windy. I honestly it's just known for its wonderfully tame weather where I live, and it's never too hot, it's never too cold, and usually sunny when other surrounding cities are pretty cloudy, but we do have wind, and we even have a windy season, which we are coming up on. Actually, as a side note, this wind and I came very close to one another within the past couple weeks. I know that sounds strange, so let me explain. Well, at work, this wind has been blowing our sign around, and finally, after holding on for really as best as she could, one of the chains it is anchored to finally came undone. So, Charlene and I got a ladder, and well, I am the smaller human of the group, so it was up to me to climb up about 20 feet to grab down our sign. And mind you, I have nothing to hold on to but just the top of the ladder. It was honestly kind of terrifying. I got it done, but then come a week after, we put the sign back up and yet another windstorm hit us. This one was not playing around. These gusts felt like they were honestly like 40 miles per hour. And so I went up the ladder again, and this time the gusts were not timable. It was purely unpredictable, and it did rock me. At the top of the ladder, I actually shifted because the wind was so strong and that was pretty unsettling. I'm not one to be scared of heights, but with nothing to hold on to and feeling just how powerful the wind really is to move me was kind of insane. Well, I have always been one to really be close to the weather magically. I love the rain, I do enjoy the wind, and as a child, I do remember anytime we would get wind in my area, I loved going out to our backyard, laying down on our trampoline, facing up to the sky, and just listening to the trees talk to me while the wind whirled through all the branches and leaves. Well, weather itself has a really good way of reminding us that things are never permanent and things always change. I love this practice of really diving in to accept and move with these cycles. The moon phases, the tides, the weather, the seasons, there are nothing but cycles within nature, but when you put them all together, it is a perfectly balanced and steady environment. So, as witches, weather magic. What is it? At its core, it's the practice of influencing or predicting weather patterns through magical means or working in tandem with the natural cycles of weather. Basically, using its energy to your advantage, just like you would do with moon phases or magical timing through planetary hours. This form of magic taps into the primal energies of nature, engaging with the elements in a dance as old as time. And today I want to help you explore by defining this ancient art and understanding its roots in the magical traditions of the world. Now, historically, every culture across the globe has developed its own unique form of weather magic, illustrating the universal need to understand and interact with the forces of nature, from the First Nation tribes who perform intricate rain dances and weather rituals to encourage the skies to open up during droughts, to the extensive folk magic of healers who used wind summoning spells to clear fog or bring in fresh air during stagnant weather periods. These practices were deeply embedded in the survival strategies of communities. These rituals were not only spiritual expressions, carrying deep significance within their respective cultural and religious frameworks, but they were also highly practical solutions to the pressuring challenges that were posed by their environments. In agricultural societies, the ability to call rain could mean the difference between, well, a bountiful harvest and a truly devastating famine. Similarly, in coastal regions, the ability to temper storms could protect fishermen and their boats from violent seas. Thus, weather magic served as a vital tool for ancient societies, melding the mystical with the mundane to secure the well being of their communities. But how does weather magic work? So, it often involves rituals, chants, and the use of symbolic tools that correspond to the elements. like feathers for air or shells for water. These items are truly believed to hold essence of the natural world, acting as conduits for the practitioner's will. Cue the elemental girlies because honestly, this goes hand in hand. If you're someone who loves to work with the elements, I think this is going to be a pretty easy thing to pick up. So, in addition to utilizing physical tools in weather magic, the timing of spells and rituals plays a crucial role in their effectiveness. Many practitioners meticulously align their magical activities with the lunar phases, believing that different phases of the moon can enhance or diminish the power of their spells. For example, a full moon is often seen as a potent time for conducting spells that increase or bring things to fruition, such as calling for rain during a drought. Conversely, a waning moon might be chosen for spells intended to ward off or diminish unwanted weather patterns, such as reducing the severity of an impending storm. So, planetary movements are also considered significant, with each planet offering different energies and influences. For instance, like Mercury's movements might be tracked for spells related to wind and air due to its association with communication and the element of air. Jupiter, known for its expansive qualities, could be considered for things like weather spells that are aimed at bringing abundance, such as ensuring plentiful rain for crops. Or I'm sure you can come up with some pretty creative ways to fit this into modern day applications. Also, the natural cycles of the Earth itself, such as seasonal changes, equinoxes, and solstices, are also pivotal in planning weather magic. These times are often seen as powerful turning points in the energetic cycle of the Earth, making them ideal for aligning with larger weather-related goals. A ritual performed on the spring equinox, for example, might focus on inviting the gentle rains and warming sun needed to jumpstart the growing season. This careful consideration of timing helps practitioners to tap into the natural rhythms and energies, thereby enhancing their connection to the forces they seek to influence. By aligning their magical practices with these broader cosmic and earthly cycles, witches and weather magicians can work in harmony with nature rather than imposing their will against it. This not only increases the efficacy of their spells, but also deepens their own understanding and respect for the natural world, fostering a more sustainable and well balanced practice. So let's get into a little bit of the scientific connection of weather. Weather magic straddles the line between the empirical and the mystical. Modern meteorology provides us with the ability to predict weather with really great accuracy, yet the spiritual connection to the weather remains strong in many cultures. The science of meteorology offers a very comprehensive understanding of weather patterns by analyzing atmospheric conditions, including things like pressure, temperature, and humidity. You know, these really are scientific insights that provide a logical framework for predicting and understanding weather changes, and grounding what might otherwise be seen as the more mystical aspects of weather manipulation is empirical reality. However, rather than debunking or dismissing spiritual practices related to weather magic, the scientific foundation enhances them. It offers weather magicians a deeper insight into the natural forces they engage with, allowing for more informed and thus potentially more effective magical practices. By understanding the mechanics behind cloud formation, for instance, a practitioner can time their rituals to coincide with natural meteorological conditions, thereby aligning their spiritual intentions with empirical possibilities. A lot of practitioners of weather magic do not see themselves as controllers of the weather, but rather as participants in a dialogue really with the universe. This perspective acknowledges the immense power and complex systems of the natural world, positioning the magician's role as one of influence or alignment rather than outright control. Such a stance not only respects the inherent limits of human power, but also honors the autonomy of nature itself. By viewing their craft as a form of co creation, magicians like you and me can engage in a respectful partnership with the elements, seeking harmony with existing weather patterns and contributing subtly to their unfolding. From a spiritual viewpoint, Weather is often perceived as a direct expression of the divine, communicating the moods and power of the earth and sky. Storms, winds, calm skies, and sudden meteorological shifts are seen as manifestations of nature's voices. Such a phenomena can be interpreted as messages or responses from the spiritual realm, making engagement with them a potentially profound spiritual experience. For many weather magicians, working with these elements goes beyond mere practice. It becomes a sacred communion with the larger forces of the universe, fostering a deep and lasting connection to the divine. Engaging with the elements in such a way encourages a holistic understanding of both the scientific and spiritual aspects of weather. This integration enables practitioners to approach their craft with a balanced perspective, appreciating the scientific aspects that explain how weather works while also honoring the spiritual dimension that imbues their practices with meaning and depth. Ultimately, the conjunction of meteorology and weather magic enriches the practice of each magician, allowing them to work with the weather in a way that is both scientifically informed and spiritually profound. This approach not only respects the power and mystery of nature, but also highlights the role of human creativity and intuition in interacting with the natural world. By acknowledging both the scientific and spiritual realms, weather magicians navigate their craft with an awareness that is both grounded and really transcendent, reflecting a deep reverence for the world around them. By combining these scientific and spiritual perspectives, practitioners of weather magic can approach their craft with really just greater wisdom and respect. Okay, so let's talk about tools and techniques. To practice weather magic effectively, one must be equipped with both knowledge and tools. Traditional tools might include staffs carved with sigils, chimes that whisper with the wind, or bowls of water that reflect the sky. Each tool serves as a focal point for the practitioner's will. Modern practitioners might also use technological tools to assist in their rituals. Weather apps and meteorological, gosh, I've said that quite a lot, but it is the word that I mean, data really can inform the timing of a ritual, ensuring that it aligns with natural patterns. This blend of almost old and new enriches the practice, grounding it in both tradition and reality. So, I want to discuss a basic setup for a weather altar. You might choose symbols for each element you wish to engage with: a feather for air, for example, a candle for fire, a bowl of water, and a stone for earth. Arranging these items with intention sets the stage for effective magic. Chanting and visualization serve as fundamental techniques in the practice of weather magic, harnessing the power of voice and mind to connect with the natural world. Chanting, particularly, is a potent form of magical expression that involves reciting or singing words and sounds believed to resonate with elemental energies. For instance, a chant to summon the wind might utilize something soft, hissing syllables that replicate the sound of rustling leaves or the whistling gusts of an approaching breeze. These sounds are not chosen at a random, but are deeply symbolic, crafting to align closely with the natural phenomena they aim to evoke, thus enhancing the practitioner's connection to the wind. Similarly, visualization in weather magic involves creating vivid mental images of desired weather patterns. This technique is grounded in the belief that mind's eye can influence and interact with the physical world. A practitioner might visualize dark clouds coalescing or imagine the feel of raindrops on your skin to attract a storm or bring on very much needed rainfall. We're talking about the details here, the feeling of it on your skin, the smell of the earth as it rains. This mental imagery is not merely a passive daydream, but it's an active and magical operation where the clarity and the detail of this visualization really are just key to its effectiveness. These practices, chanting and visualization, go beyond the mere mechanics of spell casting. They are really fundamentally about forging a deeper connection with the elemental forces. Through these techniques, practitioners speak directly to the spirits of air, water, earth, and fire, engaging them in a kind of dialogue. This interaction is really not one-sided. It requires listening as much as it does speaking, attuning to the subtle responses of the environment, and adapting to the magical work accordingly. By engaging in this ongoing dialogue with elements, you may feel that weather magic really cultivates a relationship based on this respect and this understanding you start to have. This relationship is crucial for the ethical and effective practice of magic. Really recognizing the autonomy and power of natural forces ensures that magic is conducted with humility and care, acknowledging that the practitioner is part of this larger ecological and, well, spiritual system. Ultimately, though, chanting and visualization are more than just tools for influencing the weather. They're a means of entering into a participatory dance with the world. As practitioners chant and visualize, you not only change the external world, but you yourself are transformed, gaining deeper insight and reverence for the forces that you engage with. This transformative experience underscores the profound kind of interconnectivity. That's a big word, but everything is interconnected between the human and this elemental, between the magical and the mundane. So, enough of those big words. Let's talk about practical magic. So, engaging with weather through magic is not just theoretical, it involves being practical, hands on magic that can be seen and felt. Weather is the one thing that our senses are so good at being attuned to just from, an evolution standpoint. Whether you're a beginner looking to understand the basics or an experienced practitioner seeking to refine your skills, I want to go over the practical applications. Let's talk about how you might welcome the rain with a simple but profound ritual. Imagine you start by gathering water from a natural source. This could be a nearby stream, lake, or even collected rainwater from a previous shower. The key here is to connect with the source that feels vibrant and alive to you. Once you have your water, you wait for a day when the clouds are heavy, promising rain. You place this water outside, letting the sky above reflect its intention to the rain. It's like you're asking the clouds to notice the water below and remember their purpose. While the water sits under these clouds, you can add leaves or petals, perhaps even whispering your intentions or simply expressing gratitude for the cycle of water that sustains all life. Now, creating the circle. This is where it gets pretty tactile. You sprinkle this charged water over the ground, walking in a circle, and as you do, call upon the names of any deities or spirit guides that you personally are connected to, who preside over rain and water. This is your moment to communicate directly with the elements, to make your dialogue with nature tangible. Standing in the center of your circle, with whatever water remains, express why you're asking for rain. It's not just about saying the words, but feeling them, connecting your heart's needs with the broader needs of the land around you. Pouring out the remaining water onto the earth serves as the offering, as a way to close the loop, giving back as you're asking to receive. When you thank the spirits and your deities or your guides for all their attention and leave the circle, you should do so with an open heart, trusting in the natural response, whatever it may be. It really is a beautiful way to engage with the weather. Connecting to the wind can really be just as magical, and that starts with finding the right spot. A high hill at dawn, definitely not on the top of a ladder, but with the world quiet and the air fresh, imagine you're there. The breeze just beginning to wake. You have your wand or a thame or whatever you personally choose has specifically, come forward for this moment. Maybe it's made from a piece of old oak and you've marked it with symbols that speak of air and movement. As you raise your arms, feeling the first hints of any wind, raise your wand too, or your hands, or whatever it may be, pointing towards the sky. This is when you start to call the wind. Your words, whether chanted loudly or whispered, are your personal conversation with the air around you. You ask the wind to listen, to respond, and you feel it, almost as if it's answering your call, stirring more strongly around you. Visualizing the wind's response really is crucial here. See it in your mind's eye. Feel it on your skin. The wind swirling, gathering strength, responding to your presence and your voice. You're not commanding it, you're dancing with it, aligning your internal energy with the vast, unseen forces of the air. So, closing out each ritual is very important to reflect on the interaction. Was it respectful? Did you serve a broader good? Weather magic, especially something as potent as calling the wind, requires us to think about these bigger questions. It's about more than our immediate desires. It's about harmonizing with the larger rhythms of nature and ensuring our practices contribute positively to the world around us. By practicing these spells and rituals, you not only change the weather, but also deepen your connection to the natural world. Each act of magic is a step towards a more profound understanding of the forces that govern our environment and a demonstration of respect for the power of nature. Okay, I want to talk about stormwater too, because that's something that I personally do quite a lot. And so, this is the water that you're going to collect during rainstorms. It is revered for its potent energetic properties, especially when you consider all things like moon phases, time of day, uh, planetary alignments, all of the above. It really is believed to carry the raw power of the elements, making it an excellent tool for cleansing, protection, energizing spells, anything you can apply to it, really. To collect stormwater, set out just a clean, open container in really a safe spot. So as the storm approaches, you collect the water. And once you have the water, you can use this really in a variety of ways. You can cleanse spaces with it. You can uh, charge other things with it, like crystals, if they're water safe, talismans, uh, really anything. It could be used as spell enhancers. You could make jars. You could do misters. You can do floor washes. You can ward your doors with it. Okay, so what about things that are less tangible, like wind? Wind carries messages and can be directed to manifest intentions. Capturing the essence of the wind involves using items that can catch or be moved by the wind, such as flags, chimes, or feathers. Here's how you might be able to utilize wind in your magical practice. Wind chimes, hang wind chimes and enchant them with your intentions. Feather spells, use feathers to capture wind energy. You can use them really any way that your little heart desires. And writing intentions. Write intentions on pieces of cloth or paper and tie them to a tree branch. So as the wind blows and the breeze goes through it, this can carry your intentions out into the world, into the universe, and really manifest them. Okay, last one I want to talk about is utilizing sunlight. That's something that we see every day, right? Whether it's cloudy or not. Sunlight is powerful for charging, healing, and bringing growth. It symbolizes clarity, vitality, and really life itself. Sun water, you can place a bowl of water in direct sunlight to create sun water. Solar infusions, like oils or herbs directly under the sunlight. And again, charging items, magical tools, crystals, jewelry, anything you can think of. You really just have to think and be creative and follow your intuition when it comes to weather magic if you're going to use elements of weather, because you can find really creative ways of actually capturing the weather elements. I guess I just wanted to go over a few of the first things that come to my mind, like rain, water, and sunlight. But as I kind of wrap this up, I want to talk about ethical considerations. This is something that really maybe doesn't first come to mind when we're talking about weather magic, because it's really not like the movies. We don't just go out and sing to the sky and all of a sudden a huge rainstorm comes out. I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but it's still there and it absolutely is still powerful and very, very magical. So, while weather magic is powerful, it comes with significant ethical considerations. The potential to influence weather patterns means that our actions can have wide reaching consequences, both environmentally and socially. When engaging in weather magic, it's crucial to step back and consider the broader ecological and ethical ramifications of altering these weather patterns. While the immediate benefits might seem clear, such as summoning rain to alleviate a drought-stricken area, the ripple effects can be very far-reaching and complex. For instance, by drawing rain to one region, we might inadvertently divert it from another that also desperately needs it. This can lead to a chain reaction of ecological consequences affecting not just human populations, but really entire ecosystems. The responsibility here is really just to weigh the benefits against the potential harm, ensuring that our actions do not selfishly disrupt any sort of natural balance. As witches, I think it's important to work in tandem with the weather, the earth, and all natural cycles, which is why personally, when I choose to work with weather magic elements, I choose to utilize them within my own spells and rituals, not so much as try to have an influence on the weather patterns themselves. The practice of weather magic is imbued with deep spiritual and moral implications. It's not just merely a display of power or a tool for convenience. It's a profound engagement with the elemental forces that really just shape our world. This interaction demands humility and respect, recognizing that as practitioners, we are not above nature, we are a part of it. When we summon the rain or call the wind, we are entering into a dialogue with the earth and sky. And this dialogue should be based on respect and a genuine need rather than mere desire or curiosity. The spiritual dimension of weather magic also compels us to consider the intentions behind our actions. Are we acting out of alignment with our ethical beliefs? Are we considering the well beings of others, or are we solely focused on our outcomes? These questions are vital because they help frame our practice not just as a method of control, but as a form of stewardship, where we are caretakers of the natural world rather than its masters. So, the long term impacts of regularly trying to alter weather patterns or influencing the weather patterns within your area, you must really be carefully uh, considering everything that goes with that. Frequent interference with natural cycles, such as repeatedly summoning storms or clearing skies, can lead to significant ecological and atmospheric imbalances. My favorite example is the wonderful story of the wolves in Yellowstone. We take these keystone species and we take them away from their natural habitat, and all of a sudden the triangle really starts to kind of crumble. And without them at the very tippy top, the most stable structure, right? The triangle is like the most stable structure, uh, architecturally, and you know what I'm trying to say. It's no longer stable, and we can play a big role in that too. It's very similar. We can't just always have things one way. The pendulum needs to swing within both ways. So, while I want to stress, especially with working with nature, the earth, and all of the elements, I just want to say sustainability, working within the framework of harmony with nature's rhythms, rather than imposing the will upon it, is very important. The practice of weather magic calls for a balanced approach where the magical intersects with the ethical, right? So, as practitioners, we must always be mindful of this bigger picture and strive to enhance our understanding and the integration with the natural forces rather than dominating them. This approach not only ensures that our practices are responsible, but also it deepens our connection to the world around us. We're not just going in and bossing everything around, just like if you were someone who works with deity or your guides or other spirits or necromancy. It's when we are working with other energies, it is a give and take all of the time. We cannot just take, especially as witches and magical people. That is our biggest responsibility, is to respect that boundary and to also give parts of ourselves to it. So reinforcing our role as a conscientious participant in this tapestry of life is that really, to say the least, is the most I can stress on this. So navigating these ethical waters, practitioners often turn to divination. And you can use these tools like tarot cards or runes to gauge the potential outcomes of their intended magic. Really connect to your genius loci. If you want to try to influence magic for your area, really talk to the spirits and the flora and fauna and everything that resides there the longest, and the spirits who are most important to your area. See if this is something that will benefit them, or if this is something that they're okay with or can accept, or maybe will work with you. This foresight can help guide your actions, ensuring that really they align with the highest good for everything that is involved. And if you cannot influence the magic, or if you are kind of shut down on that front when it comes to the spirits, which probably is most likely, um, you can still use elements to your advantage. It is just getting creative, it is being intuitive, and it is learning how to magically apply these things like wind or certain storm water from a certain storm, or if you find a lightning stricken piece of wood or coal. These are all things we can get extremely, extremely creative with and really just add to our arsenal of magical tools. So, as I close this episode about really powerful, the powerful realm of weather magic, we're reminded of the profound connection that exists between ourselves and the natural world. Traversing ancient landscapes, exploring how diverse cultures have harnessed the elements to both create and survive, I really wanted to delve into the intricate dance between the scientific understanding of both meteorology and spiritual practices of weather magic, but discovering that each can enhance and deepen the other. The tools that you have and the techniques that you begin to learn, these are all things that connect us more deeply to the forces of nature. From the simple gathering of water to the intricate chants that mimic the whisper of the wind. These practical insights on how to respectfully and effectively engage with these elements ensure that your practice is not only potent, but it is harmonious within the world around us. And that itself is the most potent form of magic. So, most importantly, I wanted to talk about the ethical dimensions of this practice. I hope what I have brought to the forefront is something that you can think of, especially when working with things like weather and influencing the weather. It is not merely a tool for personal gain, right? It's a profound responsibility. It requires you to consider the ripple effects of your actions, the spiritual connections we nurture, and the long-term impacts of the natural cycles that sustain life on Earth. By embracing these responsibilities, you really align your magical practice with the greater good. Everyone's talking about magic only for good, only for good, only for good. And while I am extremely baneful magic supportive, when it comes to working in tandem with the earth, I do believe and I always strive to work for the earth and for the natural elements around me instead of the other way around. It enhances not just my own life, but it's really just contributing more positively to the broader world. So, as I conclude, I want to forward the respect and the reverence that weather magic teaches us. I want this practice to be a reminder of our place within the larger ecological and spiritual system, not as dominators, but as participants in a sacred knowledge and a sacred exchange. With each spell cast and each ritual performed, you are given the opportunity to contribute to the balance and the beauty of the natural world, weaving our own magic into the intricate tapestry of life. So, thank you for joining me. I know this is probably another short one, but I wanted to go ahead and rant about the weather because it is something that really has been so prevalent in my personal life right now. And it's really, really fun to work with weather, saying so much weather. You can find ways to work with it in all different aspects of your magical life. So, thank you for joining me on this episode. I really do hope you come back and join me again. And wherever you may be in this world, have a wonderful morning, day, or night.